the chirping of those poor horny birds again. I do hope they get laid. A melodic bird song to wake from a spiky slumber. To many may not know why they do it. In my lugubrious mist, smelling of old smoke and tasting of clenched jaw, I went to bed with my jewelry on again. And it was only a few drinks at Lizard's before I closed my tab and walked to Christina's. It felt safe and fun to be in that crimson tinted hideaway, like what it must be like to live in Vivienne Westwood's artery. And you know, some of my best work has been done in the alley behind Christina's. Kisses stolen and guarded from the prying eyes of the bar butterflies. Their questions when we return, and fluttering, like buzzing around my freshly puckered face. My lips still wet and smelling of your saliva goes unnoticed, as my cheeks have been scrubbed raw by stubble. It's one of my favorite feelings, that of having been ravaged in the mug. I love kissing. It's so intimate and sudden and feels wet and warm. To focus on a bottom lip while the world burns around us under a moonlight next to trash. When the kiss is done in the corner of grace, it is always a sweet surprise, but only ever if caught off guard while smoking a cigarette. And the question, "Can I kiss you?" is when I answer with anticipatory delight. My head rushes with blood as my pink cavern readies itself to receive an alien encounter of one of your kind. Like a rendezvous of the unknown, so our tongues revel atop one another, the suction and the smoke amid the fire. In that moment, everything is possible, but for then, just focus on gently closed eyes and my grip on your frame. To slide my fingers through the hair on the back of your head is like running a marathon through a field of wheat and barley. A hop is required by me as you tend to be tall and I tend to be small. Your hands on my waist or further down remind me that I'm being held and that I've been chosen. And even if it's after 1 beer or 7, the feeling never subsides, it only grows. And at that moment, I'm not thinking of an appropriate time to text back or if I'm fat or if I've left the faucet on. I'm trying very hard to stay steady on my pins as my platforms buckle under the weight of a sweetheart, struggling to meet your fleshy gusset. The spit and the fire, a fighting stance that invites so much more than what is being offered. The scene is that of a dented car passing through to hurriedly buy wares from a convenience store across the street. To kiss a stranger, when it's cold, or when it's hot, or when it's dry, or when it's wet, means anything to me. Just to revel in some activity that is as forbidden as it is forgotten, moves the hands of a clock I forgot continued. To retribute, to encounter, to spit, and to like are verbs heavily employed by me on the north side, and the warm water and east coming from my breath. I'm of the school of Malort and Fernet after all, and my pretension preceded me. But now it's the morning, and sometimes there's no worse sound than birds trying to fuck. In a lonely bed, they're only there to remind me that I'm also alone, and of my dry dick too. But I can also relate to those birds who leave the others on red. A cacophony of desperation only reminds me that I mustn't seek. Those poor birds in the morning. This light coming in through my blinds. It's blinding and a joke from my balcony's door, of which sparsely omits the sunshine, and sometimes the day is worse than the night. And I can't wait for the sun to go down. I can't wait to take a nap. I may have kissed a man last night, but I didn't bring him home. The bar is not suitable to meet someone, but it suited me last night. And now I can tell my girlfriends that it wasn't lonely last night. It was revealing. That I let myself go in a moment of hasty abandon, whatever that means. I also don't want to be murdered by some strange man with pretty eyes, because it was a blackout experience most of the time. And I shouldn't go out every night, but I will. Definitely soon. Tonight, in fact.